Hello everyone, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. It's Tuesday, the sun is shining and West Ham are looking at signings, and I thought I'd bring you a video about Broja versus Nesyri. Now, for me, Broja, Nesyri, you got two players there that are like polar opposites of the scale, in my opinion. When I look at Broja, I see a player there who's had an okay season at Southampton, done okay, scored 6 goals in 32 appearances. And I look at Nesyri, who, fair enough, he's played 29 games and scored 5 goals for Seville last season, but he did have a major injury. And he's got Champions League experience. So obviously, with the news of Broja, West Ham are looking at Broja. I think it's a major risk at West Ham to go for a player who is 20 years old and has only had an okay season. Like, we wouldn't be signing a player for £30 million for the Championship if they'd only scored basically 6 goals in the whole of the campaign. Do you know what I mean? So when I look at it and I weigh it up, I see sort of Nesyri as being the preferred target, if I'm being honest. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Broja's got potential, but no one knew him a year ago. Like, before he went to Southampton, yeah, he went to Holland, he was doing things over there, but this is a different level now. And I feel this is a West Ham signing, if we go for Broja, that is just guaranteeing Antonio a start in place. Like, if Nesyri was to come in, Antonio's place is massively under threat. I don't see it being under threat with Broja. I really don't. Don't get me wrong. Broja comes in, I support him as a 20-year-old lad, but I think it's a lot of pressure that you're putting on a young player to come in, be a £30 million signing, and say to him, right, you've got to be our backup striker. Do you know what I'm saying? I think with Nesyri, you could bring him in, and if it didn't work out in, say, a year's time, you could sell him and get the same sort of money from him, I believe. Like, he's a proven Champions League player, and he scored 24 goals the season before last. So when you sort of look at it, who would you rather have? Like, people are on this argument with saying basically Broja is the man. He's the one. Like, look what he done at Southampton. And look really what he done at Southampton. Started off the season well at Southampton, but 32 games, only 6 goals. That's not really a good return for someone that you're prepared to pay £30 million for, in my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's an hard one. Like, if West Ham do go for him, and we do get him, it's a good signing, but I think there's a lot of pressure on this kid. A hell of a lot of pressure for someone that we're going to bring in and hope he comes in and performs. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if he doesn't, people will look at his price tag and go, we paid £30 million for this geezer and he hasn't done it, so to speak. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Broja. Moving on to sort of the Nesyri side of things. I like Nesyri. I think West Ham have been looking at Nesyri for a long time. And I think 2 years ago, when West Ham looked at Nesyri, they was reported wanting £40-50 million for him because he was banging in goals every week. Like, he was banging in like 2s and 3s some weeks in for Seville in La Liga. Now, obviously, last season he had a poor season. He only scored 5 goals, as I said previously, but he did have a major injury. Now, I spoke to someone last night. I done a Twitter space last night, and it was me and Lucas on this Twitter space, and this Moroccan lad come on, and he started talking about Nesyri. And he also mentioned about a guard, which I'll get onto shortly. But he was saying about Nesyri. He said Nesyri is an 18-yard box striker. He said he won't drift left to right and right to left. He'll stay in the 18-yard box. And he's like a goal poacher. Do you know what I mean? And that's what West Ham need. West Ham needs someone who's going to stay centre of the goal and not drift all over the place. Because, let's be honest, that's what Antonio does. Antonio goes left and right and tries to cross balls in. We need a vocal point up front who's going to go stay there for 90 minutes and be deadly in the box. And I think Nesyri is the man for me. I think when you look at the price tags for both players, 25-year-old Nesyri is, to me, that's like, you'd go for experience. Experience in bigger games is worth more than potential. Like, because what we're doing is, in Broja, that I believe, is we're signing potential. Now, West Ham don't need potential. They need someone who's ready made, who's ready to come in there and challenge Antonio. And I just think El Nesyri is the man, and I really do mean that. Obviously, Jazza last night was on the space, and Jazza heard what the Moroccan gentleman was saying, and it was all positive signs for El Nesyri, saying that, listen, he's a tall lad. He's not fast, but he knows where the goal is, and that's what we need. We need someone who's an actual on goal scorer. Now, people can look at him last year and say, well, look what he done last year, James. But you've got to put an injury into that. The season before that, he scored 24 goals in the Liga. Like, so he knows where the back of the net is. So, yeah, I'm going to sort of round it up from me. I would always go for El Nesyri over Broja. I think Broja is potentially going to be a really good player. But have West Ham really got the funds to go and spend £30 million out on potential? We've done it last year with Vlasic. Let's all remember that. So go back a year ago, we spent X amount of pounds on Vlasic to say, wow, this is the man that we're going to go for, Nikola Vlasic, and it has not worked out. So for me, it's not the right move. El Nesyri is the man for me. Let's go to the chat. Hi, James. We could get El Nesyri and Raspadori for 51 million. Broja could become good, but we need someone to come in and hit the ground running. Totally agree with you. I really do mean that. That is my argument also. We need someone now who's ready-made now to come in and do the job. I think El Nesyri's got someone there in, obviously, a guard who's at the club now. If El Nesyri was to come in, I think El Nesyri is a better striker than Antonio, in my opinion. And I think there's a bit of a power shift there. Like, you're going for Broja, right, who's not really going to challenge Antonio, let's be honest. When people look at Antonio, they're going to go, Antonio's always going to be first choice. Now, if El Nesyri comes in, then that's a toss of a coin. Like, and that's a different argument altogether. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's an interesting debate. Obviously, the other player on there, I don't know anything about, so I can't really judge. So, but with El Nesyri, I can. I've seen enough of him to go, you know what? Yeah, he's. If I had a choice between the two, 30 million a pair, which one do I want? It's going to be El Nesyri all day, in my opinion. Moving on. Did you watch Gio's video? Yes, I did, Buster. Gio hits the nail on the head. What we got? Let's have a look. Flash has never played well in the Premier League, but Broja has. Yeah, but he's got one assist, Jazza, Broja. He's got 6 goals, right? Is that worth £30 million in your opinion? 6 goals and 1 assist. Now, for me, if you're going to go down that road of saying, well, he's played well in the Premier League, Ivan Toney played well in the Premier League. So why don't you go and put a bid in for him? I just feel that this is more of pleasing Antonio than it is pleasing West Ham. Don't get me wrong, Broja's a good player, but I don't think he's going to come in. I don't think the fan base are going to be saying, right, we need Broja as our starting centre forward. I think everyone knows that Antonio's going to be the first choice, and Broja's going to sit on the bench and just come on from time to time and play in odd games from time to time. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think that you would get that with El Nesyri, because El Nesyri's got a better profile than Broja and Antonio put together, like for what he has done over his career. Like, he's a Moroccan international. He's played in the Champions League. He scored over 20 goals in a season. None of them two have. So that's sort of where the debate comes into it. I'm happy with Antonio as our number one. I don't think we need someone to come in to be our number one. Well, I don't know about that, Jazza. Like, if we're going to the next level, Antonio needs to have someone who's better than him, and so it makes Antonio better. So I do think we do need someone to look to replace him. Do you know what I'm saying? What else we got? Yes, I've heard Lingard is back on the radar again. I don't speak about it on this channel, Tony. If I'm being honest, mate, I really don't. I am done with Lingard talking until I see him in a shirt. It's like an ex-girlfriend that you just can't get rid of. Do you know what I mean? It's just always the same old stuff over and over and over again. So we will see what happens there, Tony, if I'm being honest. Broja's stats don't excite me. People slate Ben Rama off, yet he has more goals than Broja. There you go, mate. Listen, Broja's a centre forward, right? And Southampton are not known for having really good centre forwards, like Che Adams, Adam Armstrong, Theo Walcott. I can't remember some of their strikers that they got at that club. And Broja went there and started off very, very well. But it is interesting to me why they haven't pursued him. They've pursued him because I don't think he's worth the money. Like, if Broja was worth £20 million or £15 million, I think that's a great bit of business, because then you can afford to take a risk on him. £30 million for a player who's scored 6 goals in one season is a risk in my eyes. Like, that's a lot of money to invest in someone who you don't really know if they're going to crack it or not. If they do crack it, then all well and good. If they don't, it's a major flop again. Do you know what I'm saying? What we got here, let's have a look. Haller had a good profile, but yeah, he was proven though in different. Haller weren't that bad, mate. If I'm being honest, he just didn't fit the system. That's the only thing I can say on that. I have to agree. I think 30 million is a lot of money considering his stats. His all-round play isn't great. See, I agree with you, Thunder there. Yeah, I think it all goes to the price tag more than anything. I think if you look at it and you weigh it up, £30 million for a player who hasn't got good stats. As only, like, I see someone today on a different platform saying something along the lines of like, he started off very, very well, and then he just fell off an edge of a cliff towards the back end of the season. Like, can we take a risk on that? Do you know what I'm saying? Because if that is the case, why don't you just promote Okoflex or Sonny Perkins? Like, I think it's a lot of money for what he is and what he's done. Do you know what I'm saying? We can't have Antonio being our number one striker. We need a proper striker to be number one. Totally agree with you, Gazza, there, mate. Really do. El Nesyri for me, Phil, 100%, mate. I can't stress enough that I think El Nesyri is the man for West Ham. West Ham 2 years ago were looking at him, yeah, and Seville said they want 45 million, I think it was. West Ham blew it out and said they didn't have the budget for that. Now Seville have offered him to us for 30. Yeah, he's only 25. Someone said he was 29 years old. I've done a bit of research. He's 25 years old, this keeper. So his best years are yet to come, like his career. So it's a no-brainer for me. Like, if you want someone who's going to come in and automatically challenge Antonio, El Nesyri's the man. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Antonio loses his head when he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He needs to psychologically help on that. Maybe a retired striker can help him. I think Antonio's good, don't get me wrong, in certain games. But in some games, he goes missing. And I think you need a different... I think you need an out-and-out goal scorer, like a goal poacher, someone, an 18-yard box merchant, to me. Someone who stays in the 18-yard box. Anything that comes in, he's going to attack. Anything that's on the ground, he's going to shoot on sight. That's what we need. I don't get that with Antonio. Antonio is too attracted to the ball, and when he gets frustrated, he goes missing. He goes over to the left, over to the right, taking long throw-ins. And this ain't a dig at Antonio. Listen, he's done great things at West Ham, and I still want him to stay at West Ham. But I want someone to come in and challenge him in a way that he's got to up his game. I don't think Broja is going to make him up his game. I really do mean that. I think Broja comes in, he sits there and he goes, well, I'm still the top dog. I don't think he's like that if El Nesyri's there. If El Nesyri's there, he looks to the side and thinks, right, I've got to sort myself out because this geezer is top draw. Do you know what I mean? He's proven, he's done it at a higher level. He's played Champions League. He's played in La Liga. He's no mug, is he? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Would you take him for 20 million? 20 million pounds for Broja, I think, is about where I'm at, if I'm being honest. I think 20 million pounds is a sort of price tag that you can look at it and you can go, right, if it did go wrong, you could sell him and get a reasonable fee back on him. Like, if not, increase your fee a little bit on him. Like, so if you got him for 20 million, you could look at 15 to 25 in that ballpark of getting back or losing. £30 million and trying to recruit £30 million for that sort of player is going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and you don't know what sort of clause that they're going to put in there, because there must be a clause that Chelsea will put in it, like if he does perform, is there a buyback clause of like 60 million or 70 million pounds? There could be. Our gun approach is showing, but the fact that Broja, El Nesyri, Rashpadori, I don't know who that other geezer is, so are all from different European leagues. Yeah, but it seems like it's West Ham all over. It's convenient at the time, isn't it? Let's be honest here. Like, Broja's sitting at Chelsea and West Ham think, oh, you know what, we're going to get him. My ideal scenario for this would be loan Broja, sign El Nesyri. That is what I would do. I'd go and loan him for a season, assess the situation with Broja for a season at West Ham, like you did with Areola, and then at the end of the season, go, is he the man? Like, is he worth buying? I think going in with a bid and trying to sign him is a non-starter for me, like, because there's no guarantees that he's going to come good. Like, do you know what I mean? If he does come good, then everyone can eat humble. I can eat humble pie. Do you know what I mean? So I was wrong, but I don't know. I'm just not convinced by his stats and what he's done. And when I look at £30 million, I think you had another 10 million on top of that. You can go and get Jonathan David at Lille. And I think there's levels. Do you know what I'm saying? So that Turkish geezer, I've been watching a little bit of him, like, on different sort of platforms, and done a bit of research on him. He looks quite tidy, mate. He really, really does. Reminds me a lot of Lanzini, the way he plays. Good ball control, pacey a little bit. Loves a shot from outside the box. Decent player, in my opinion. So, what we got here? Ericsson. I think we'd be mad to turn him away, Ericsson, if we've got the opportunity to sign him. Would he want to come to West Ham? I think it's out of all the clubs, I think we're at the bottom of the list, if I'm being honest. But he's a good player and he's definitely worth signing, 100%. Like, if you got that sort of class of player. One thing I would say is I would like his Danish left back. Can't pronounce his name, but he's from Atalanta, I think it is. Very, very good player. Very good player. What we got? Let's skip down here. It is likely to be the other way around. Broja's purchased outright and El Nesyri loaned. Possibly. I don't think Seville will let him go on loan, though. I'll be quite shocked if they did that. But if that was a scenario, then for me, that's great. Because West Ham need more than one striker. Yeah, I think they need three. Right, I think they need, obviously, Antonio, who's a striker. He's not a winger, he's a striker. That's what he is now. And we need two other strikers at the club. I think West Ham rely heavily on hoping that these players are going to stay fit. And you know what? Square pegs and round holes. How many times last year did we have Bowen going up front? When if you take Bowen from the right, then you're weak on the right. Do you know what I'm saying? So if that was a scenario where Broja and El Nesyri did come in together as a pair, excellent, first class, because then that gives Moyes options. Can I see it happening? I think it's one or the other, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Especially the way the system West Ham play. What else have we got breaking? Areola, Kufal, Zuma, Agard, Felovica. Oh, mate, my pronunciation's terrible. Sorry about that. Suchek, Rice, Bowie, Ericsson, Fornals, Broja. What stops us from the quadruple? Broja's not that level, Jazza. I'm sorry, man. He's not. Like, people are saying that he's just going to come in and be like a world-class player. It's not, mate. He's just not. Would love Jonathan David at West Ham. He would probably be my number one choice. But sadly, I think he will go to a bigger club, which is a shame. 100%. If Jazza was to put Jonathan David in there, then I would say the quadruple definitely on. 100%. Breaking news from Jack Rosser. Chelsea initially had plans to give Broja A pre-season to prove himself he could change. Should they receive a hefty fee for the 20-year-old? But West Ham will do just that by offering 30 million and negotiating commence for a formal offer is made. West Ham are trying to throw money at a striker who isn't, well, for me, he hasn't proved enough for me. Pins on the merge allocation at Rangers. I haven't seen it, Phil. Obviously, I know that we're playing Rangers in a pre-season tour during the week, though, which is a bit crazy. I would have thought that would have been definitely a Saturday game. But, yeah, hopefully we've got some players in by then. But, yeah, listen, put your final questions in the chat before I wrap up. Anything you want to ask, fire away, and I will get it done. I'm going to go for another probably 10 minutes, and then I will wrap up. Let's have a look, see if I've missed anything. Looks like Areola is close to a 5-year deal. Great signing. That's the sort of signing West Ham need to make. Now, I'm so glad that Sam Johnson has decided to go to Crystal Palace, because everyone was looking at him going, "Oh, Sam Johnson to West Ham, yeah, like free transfer." West Ham needs to get past that, and they need quality, not just players who just to make space. Do you know what I'm saying? Areola has been absolutely excellent for West Ham, and he should be number one next year. And if he isn't number one next season, there is something drastically wrong going on behind the scenes. So for me, Areola needs to get done. I think Newcastle will go for Nick Pope. I'm seeing things with Nick Pope going there. So the door is firmly open for Areola to come to West Ham. So I believe he will be at West Ham. I think he enjoyed his time at West Ham. I think he's likes London. I think it's a no-brainer, I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Let's have a look. We have an allocation of 1,600 in a 60k stake. Yeah, well. Do you prefer red or green pesto on your pasta? No, mate. I prefer no pesto on my pasta, mate. I'll be dead. Do you know what I'm saying? How many signings do you want? How many do you think we will end up with? Well, it's reported that 6 are coming. Now, a guard is here. 6 more. Now, Areola is going to be the next one, so that's going to leave it to 5. We need a left back at this club. There's no two ways about it. We need a left back at this club. All right, we can't go with a guard over to the left hand side. As I said earlier on in this stream, I spoke to a Moroccan last night on Twitter on a live space, and he said that a guard has never played as a left back ever, not once. All right. So I think it's a dangerous move putting him over on the left as a left back as cover. Do you know what I'm saying? You see, he's too tall and he's too what is it? Like lanky for that position, right? So he said a guard is more suited as a left-sided centre half, and so West Ham need a left back at this club. That is a major thing. A left back, a central midfielder, a centre forward. I would say 2 central midfielders, if I'm being honest, and maybe one more. Like obviously the goalkeeper needs to be sorted out also. So I'm going to say he is going to go for 6. Will we get 6? I reckon we'll get 5. I reckon we're going to be 1 short. What is it? Afternoon, Mr. E20. Looking smart today. Cheers, mate. Nice one, Phil. Why are Southampton not pursuing Broja? That is the $1 million question, Jazza. That really is. Why are they not going after him? They would have had an option to buy. Yeah, they would have had first refusal, right, on him. I think they look at him and think, one, he's not worth the money. He's not worth the £30 million that someone's prepared to pay for him. Now, as we said it earlier in the stream, if he was to go for 20 million, yeah, I think he's decent. I think like if it goes wrong, you can get round it and get away with selling him for about 15, 18 million if it went really wrong. If it went right, it goes through the roof, doesn't it? So £30 million for a player that has only had 1 good season, or not really a good season. Like if I was rating him out of 10 for his season, I'd give him a 7. Like he hasn't really like he started off well, but then he just fell off. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I believe Southampton won't go for him. Lee, hope you are well, mate. American Hammers, go over there and subscribe to their channel. Lee does good things. I'll take Dennis and Sarah over just about everyone else, proven Premier League players. Sarah would. Dennis is. I think Dennis is a good player, but I'll definitely have him on Nesyri, mate. Definitely. Who's your preferred left back for me? It's Bassey all the way. Bassey's a Forest Gate lad. Yeah, he's from Newham, and he was at Leicester, I think it was, as a youth player. Then Rangers picked him up. Bassey would be a good signing. He really, really would. Rahm from Germany would be another good signing. Whoever it is, we have to get a left back in here. Like whoever it is. Like my ideal person, if I was to go and hand pick someone, I'd go and get Rico Henry out of Brentford. I think that boy has rapid pace. I do like the Danish lad. I can't even pronounce his name. Left back, plays for Atalanta. Very, very good player, and we've been linked with him today. So hopefully that'll be the man. But Bassey's a good player. He is good. He performed very well. So okay, so what cheese do you have on your pasta? Pasta, you are killing me today, son. You are killing me on this front. I don't like cheese. Moving on. Didn't know that about a guard. Yeah, as I said like before, he's not a left back. He's not a left back at all. What we got here? What is it? A guard has played there twice, and he has lost both matches according to Football Barista. Well, you was on the space last night, Jazza, so you heard what he was saying. He said he's a definite no for left back. Sell Vlasic. I agree. What order do you think we sign out players in position wise? I think the next one will be a striker, but who it is, I've got no idea. Broja might not want to go Southampton. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Like Southampton Premier League club, he's going to play all the time. Like if he was that good, he would have been playing all the time. Would have been their first choice. He's not going to be first choice at West Ham. What would he prefer? Like Southampton as a career move where he's going to be playing regularly, or a bench warmer at West Ham? It's an hard one, isn't it? I think we will put Broja on hold as this will drag for a week or two. Centre back, a goalkeeper, left winger. Yeah. Happy Hammerette was on the space last night. So anyone want to ask her any questions about the Moroccan who was on there? Ask Happy Hammerette. She was on there last night. What have we got? I think, despite having a good window, we will leave assigning a new central midfielder to the final day and get caught out, possibly. That is the player. That's the man who I would say for left back. I think he's excellent, mate. 17 million or 19 million reported for him. I think he's worth every penny. I watched him in the Euros last year and I was thoroughly impressed. So if West Ham could go and get him in as being our new left back, absolutely buzzing. Absolute buzzing. He attacks well. He's a good defender. He's good on the ball. He's excellent at crossing. He's a decent player, in my opinion. We love that guy at West Ham. I agree. James, if you add Watkins, Henry, and Tony to Ben Rama, we basically have a championship side that couldn't get promoted. But at the end of the day, Ivan Toney is a very, very good player. Rico Henry is a very, very good player. Watkins, I won't have because I just don't think he's worth the money that is branded for him. And when you say about a championship side, when you look at West Ham's team is really made up of championship players. Like Antonio was a championship player, Bowen was a championship player, Ben Rama was a championship player. Do you know what I mean? Issa Diop plays like he's from the championship. So, do you know what I'm saying? Cresswell was a championship player. So when you weigh it up, you've got to show the championship a bit of respect, really. There's some good players who come out of the championship who might manage to crack on. Look at Vardy. Vardy went through different stages in his career, and Vardy was a decent player. Do you know what I'm saying? So you've got to give the championship a bit of respect, really. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, what else we got here? Quality space. That, by the way, needs to do more. I must admit, I will start doing more of them spaces. I quite enjoyed it. So look, 30 million is a lot to play for a bench warmer, in my opinion. Totally agree. Totally, 100% agree on that. 30 million pound is what we paid for Vlasic, and he was sitting on the bench. I don't get where why we're going down that route. You know what I mean? Unless we are doing like a diversity tactic for someone else, like another striker and we're trying to get the price down. That's the only thing I can think of. Should we be looking to sign international players whose value could raise after the World Cup, or they get a lot of interest like Rice will? I think whoever you sign, like their value is going to go up depending on how well they do in the World Cup. For me, I don't think there's a lot really. I think I'm more fearful of the players that we might lose next season. Obviously with Bowen and Rice, but we will see about that. Do you know what I'm saying? And that is it. Let's have a look. Yeah, that is it. That's enough from me. Listen, I'm going to let you go and enjoy your Tuesday afternoon stroke evening. West Ham are looking at Broja, but for me, I think he's a very overpriced player for what we're getting. We're getting a 20-year-old for £30 million who scored 6 goals in 32 games. For me, that's not really what you want to be getting when we need someone of better quality than that. Do you know what I'm saying? But we will find out in the next coming days if he is really the sort of player that we want. And if Moyes goes for him, then we're all going to have to back him because Moyes knows what he's looking for. If El Nesyri is the man, and it does change around that El Nesyri does come in, I do believe that he's a quality player at West Ham. I can't stress it enough. I think if you can score goals in the Champions League and you can score over 20 goals in a season at La Liga, you've got to be half decent, in my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? So it will remain to be seen what happens at West Ham United. But whatever happens, it's going to be exciting. Anyway, that's enough from me. I will be back on Thursday. I'm having tomorrow off. But I will be back on Thursday with probably another show with either Lucas or Mitchell. So, yeah, check it out here on E20 Zone TV. Please like the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And, yeah, Broja, £30 million. Please, not another Vlasic. Bye for now.